The news in the YouTube world is going crazy with speculation about how horrible this is that Zillow won't be listing these homes on the open market and how they're trying to burn the working man. 2 weeks ago, Zillow announced it would no longer be buying homes through its popular iBuyer program.
We are focusing in on the action playing out at Zillow as shares absolutely get shellacked, and I'm not overusing that term today. Shares off more than 20%.
Today, we're going to talk about Zillow's home buying freeze and why they might have made that decision, and about what they plan to do with all the properties they're currently holding. We're going to look at how many homes Zillow has in their pocket, and I'll tell you what effect I think this situation is going to have on the real estate market. Are we suddenly going to see tons of homes for sale and easier buying for all you guys hoping to buy a home in the new year? We're going to take a look, but first let me explain what an iBuyer is for those of you who might be unfamiliar. iBuyers are the companies like Zillow Offers, Opendoor, and OfferPad that have grown up over the last few years who purchase homes instantly directly from sellers, closing within days of going under contract. A lot of realtors are really irritated by these companies, seeing them as competition for our business, but the truth is they offer some desperately needed flexibility for sellers who are also trying to buy in a market with very few homes for sale. I mean, think about it. If you're trying to sell your home, but you're having trouble finding a new home that meets your needs, or any home at all, a company that says, I'll buy your house and close in 3 days or anytime you want within this time frame, that's pretty helpful. You don't have to worry about preparing the home for sale when you don't even know where you're moving to yet because there's no homes on the market. You can even terminate the contract if they have contracted to buy your home and you change your mind, maybe because you didn't win the bid on the house you wanted. You're not stuck. These people should hire me because I sound like an advertisement for Opendoor, but this service comes at a pretty steep price. I recently asked a couple of different iBuyers, Opendoor and OfferPad, to make an offer on my home. Opendoor, when they submit your offer to you, they also give you a list of recently closed homes to show you how they come up with their price. OfferPad didn't do that, and when I asked for a list of comps, they didn't respond. Opendoor gave me the comparable property list, but they also used homes that had closed over a year earlier, and we all know how much prices have increased in the last year. Both companies came in about $15,000 to $20,000 below my pricing analyst department at my brokerage, Hunter Rowe. But back to Zillow. The examples above show that all these iBuyer companies are relying on some tactics to try and actually make a profit. Here are a few facts about the Zillow situation. In addition to Zillow terminating their iBuyer program, Zillow is currently holding about 7,000 homes nationally in their inventory and is seeking to sell them. All their inventory is being sold at a loss. They also won't be selling the homes on the general market. They plan to sell to investors. The news in the YouTube world is going crazy with speculation about how horrible this is that Zillow won't be listing these homes on the open market and how they're trying to burn the working man. Why are they selling to investors when they should give buyers the opportunity to buy a home? I've already said it once in this video, and I'm going to say it again. Realtors hate Zillow. Any opportunity they get to bash them, they do it. So take all that stuff you're hearing with a grain of salt. Realtors just have their feelings hurt a little bit because Zillow has been providing a valuable service to our client base for so long that people started to trust Zillow more with their real estate needs than they trust realtors. That's not a surprise to me. But is all that ugliness about Zillow really deserved? And do all these changes to Zillow's business model mean that they're doing anything wrong? Let me give you a few rational reasons that Zillow might have made this decision to stop buying and selling homes. And then I'll tell you why it's not a bad thing that they're selling to investors, not the open market. There's a couple reasons I think that Zillow stopped buying homes. The first one is that they underestimated the cost associated with buying and selling. I've been saying for a long time that iBuyers in general didn't really understand the amount of labor that goes into buying and selling of homes. It's not surprising. Buyers and sellers don't really understand how much work goes into it because everyone seems to think that we realtors just sit back and collect money. According to the National Association of Realtors, only 5% of realtors are employees earning wages, while 88% are independent contractors, myself included, and we earn commission for completed home purchases and sale transactions. In other words, we can work 1,000 hours on a transaction, and if it terminates, we get nothing. I believe that iBuyers really underestimated the labor dollars that they were going to put into buying and selling real estate. Even when transactions terminate, which is much more common in this market, they still have to pay employees. I think the current market has probably increased our working hours per transaction by maybe 30%. I'm not actually tracking these numbers. This is just my gut feeling, but for sure, there's been a significant increase in labor hours when helping buyers and sellers in the market. There's another reason I think that Zillow stopped buying homes, and I think Zillow's behavior in Phoenix is a great illustration of this possibility. In late summer, when Phoenix's market started to cool, other iBuyers slowed down their purchases, but Zillow didn't. They kept buying. It was a reasonable strategy. Buying low and selling high is a great strategy in the stock market, but these aren't stocks. Buying a stock when the price is good and holding it for 2 to 3 years is a reasonable strategy, but the housing market doesn't work like that.
The part that was overlooked was the market is volatile. And that he said, I think in some press release, he was surprised how surprised the market was volatile. Well, that's real estate.
It goes up for 10 years or so, and then it drops down and takes another 10 years to reach its next peak. That's an awfully long time to hold onto a single asset worth $500,000 or more. And when you have thousands of them, that means all your capital is tied up in illiquid funds. That's money you can't use. I think the reason Zillow ramped up their buying when everyone else was slowing down was because they were assuming the slowdown was a seasonal slowdown that would pick back up in the spring. So they wanted to gobble up the homes while they were relatively cheap, but that's when they got stuck. They had too much inventory and not enough labor to manage it. But there's another piece to the puzzle. Opendoor doesn't do much to the properties they buy before putting them back on the market. Maybe a little lipstick on a pig, some fresh paint if you're lucky, but usually it looks like they didn't even clean the homes before turning around and relisting them, because I've been in many a dirty Opendoor house. But Zillow is a little different. They do seem to do a little more renovating to their homes, which is great because in this market, buyers are desperate for move-in ready homes. People are moving from all over the country, selling your home in California only to have to move into a hotel after closing on your home here because it's desperately in need of paint, and flooring is a layer of stress that buyers just don't need. So Zillow is providing a really valuable service as far as I'm concerned, and not enough people appreciated it. I think that's where they ran into their next problem though, another layer of labor costs, but also time. With the exacerbation of the labor shortage, finding the labor to do the work to the house to get them flipped in a reasonable period of time was likely exasperating and untenable. Every moment those homes sat empty, waiting for painters and other contractors to get to them, was costing them huge amounts of money. So it turns out pricing a home to purchase to then renovate and flip is just too complicated for any algorithm to manage. It still has to be done by people. And that was the downfall of Zillow's iBuying, because it was their algorithm that helped them to price the homes, another attempt at limiting labor costs. Zillow CEO says, "We've determined the unpredictability in forecasting home prices far exceeds what we anticipated, and continuing to scale Zillow offers would result in too much earnings and balance sheet volatility." So Zillow is selling off all their inventory at a loss. Does that mean buyers will eventually get access to all this great inventory? Don't get too excited yet. Zillow only owns 7,000 properties. Here in Wake County, according to the tax records, they currently own 210 homes, and in Mecklenburg County, I was able to find they had about 260 homes. That's out in Charlotte. I couldn't find any Zillow-owned homes in the Triad. Currently in Wake County, there are 1,971 homes in the MLS, either active or under contract, so 210 homes isn't anything to sneeze at. It's over 10% of our current inventory. But remember, I said they're planning to sell them to investors. Why would they sell them to investors and not sell them on the open market? Likely because it costs more money to sell on the open market. It's the same reason buyers try to do for sale by owner. If you sell on the open market, you're going to have individuals represented by buyer's agents making offers, and all those buyer's agents need to be paid. This is an extra layer of cost that Zillow probably doesn't want to pay, especially after selling the homes at a loss, and they likely have a ready pool of investors to market the properties to. But the good news is that whatever they do, it will still benefit the housing market. If they sell to investors who purchase them in groups, which is what they're talking about, those investors will likely rent them out. We're just as short of rental housing as we are of homes for sale. Any way we can get those homes back into the housing supply will be helpful to regular people. What we don't need is hundreds or thousands of homes sitting in limbo, waiting for manpower to get them back into the inventory pool, even if that means they are rentals. So, is Zillow's loss your gain? Kind of. While I don't anticipate any great change to the real estate market based on Zillow getting out of iBuying and selling off their inventory, personally, I'm buying Zillow stock. It has taken a huge drop, and if there's one thing I know about Zillow, they are phenomenal at understanding what their target market is struggling with and needs help with, and responding to those needs. Think about it. How often do you use Zillow? Don't they provide amazing tools that make your life easier when you're researching real estate? They were the first people to do it, and they're constantly analyzing and adjusting the needs of their target market. I don't expect that to change. My money is on Zillow.
You know, some people are saying that this could be a buying opportunity.
But it depends on the cost of carrying those houses. And I don't think we have those numbers yet. I'm not sure they're out of the woods yet. Sorry if I look like a scaredy cat, but I am.
If you like this video, you might also like this one.